Hey guys, it's your coach, Dr. J here. I wanted to talk to you guys about my forte and something that I love to talk about, which is personal development. If some of you guys that follow me on the news feeds, I'm sure that you know that sometimes I puke out some good some good personal development, which all has the same point in mind, and it's really to make people think and to reach out to maybe that one more person that's just looking for that way to be happy and find a little health and happiness in their life. In terms of the three vital behaviors, you've got invite, invite, invite. You've got proof the product works, and then personal development. If you notice those three things are actually the core of what a lot of religions are built on, and a lot of cultures and societies are built on. That actually give a foundation for success. So what I talk about is something called inner strength. It's something that I learned when I was 12, 13 years old. My parents are big Tony Robbins fans, and they used to staff a lot of his seminars. And I remember going on one of the seminars with them and doing what's called a fire walk. And if any of you guys know this, it's like you walk across hot coals. I mean, it's completely crazy. And I remember when I was asked to do that, I was like, there's no way. And I remember Tony Robbins actually was the one who convinced me to do it. And I walked over hot coals, and it's supposed to basically build up obviously your confidence, but the theory that you can do anything that you want if you put your mind to it. And I was also like the youngest person, I think they said, that had ever walked across hot coals. I think I was still 12 years old at the time or something like that, or 11. And there's actually a picture of it somewhere that my dad has, which I'd be happy to forward to you guys. I'm sure my dad would love that. So I remember afterwards he said, I knew you had it in you all along. You had the inner strength. And I really took that with me in anything that I had done in my life. I've used the inner strength towards any extended struggle I've had in my life. When I was young, I loved the game of baseball, but I repeatedly failed at it, and then I took years and years of baseball lessons, eventually becoming an all-star, and then an all-state contender, and then playing in college, which was my dream. And I still actually play in a league right now because I have a passion for it. It's the same reason why the accomplishments that I had been awarded when I was on active duty, and the same thing when I became a pediatric dentist. I had failed. I applied 3 times into my specialty of pediatrics and hadn't succeeded. But every time I went back to what my mission was and what my purpose was, and it was to inspire long-lasting happiness in kids. And so nothing was going to stop me. And so the third time I did, and my third year into practice, I think that we become very successful, and I'm able to help more and more kids every day. And that has nothing to do with the hospital residency program I went to. It has nothing to do with the actual information that I learned. It has nothing to do with my hand skills. It has to do with me, and that's really what I teach my challengers. That's what I teach my coaches. People all have different strengths. And what I like to do is, I've created a system that you want to become intimate with the people that become your customers, your challengers, or people that are on your team as coaches. And when you've got the 3 vital behaviors, and then in terms of personal development, you want to see how that ties in. And it actually ties in to all 3, because as you're inviting, you're going to get rejections, you're going to get objections, and how do you react to that? Well, that's personal development. Proof the product works. If you start off doubting it, and then you've got to understand how to learn, do you have to go back to your mission, and do you really believe in Shakeology, the fitness programs, the challenge groups? How do you react to that? How do you keep getting better at being proof the product works? Well, that's personal development. So what's the structure? How do you find your inner strength? Well, first you got to help yourself, and then you help other people. So you help yourself through, through reading and through learning about yourself. A lot of times people go through their whole lives and they never learn about themselves. You're born with instincts, but you're not born with habits. Our habits are learned. Our habits are from these conditioned responses from our parents, our environment. We'd like to think that they are, but our fast temper, our inability to cope with certain situations, these are all habits that have developed over years and years and years. So our inability to know ourselves is a habit just like anything else. So by reading consistently over time, whether it's the compound effect, whether it's the magic of thinking big, whatever it is, over time, that you'll start to figure out what you're all about and what you believe in. Everybody believes in different things, but all of a sudden your eyes will just go vroom, and your eyes will just open up, and what you saw 6 months ago is not what you see now. So when I meet somebody and they've got a need, I have to establish that they have a need for what I can offer. I want to be intimate with them and I want to understand them. And then the way that I set their foundation is by building their inner strength. So you want to set them up, you want to set people up for success, whether it's your customers, your coaches, your challengers. And how do you do that? Well, you establish what their really strong why is. That's part of their inner strength, just like you have yours. And then you want to lay out the game plan ahead of time. And so, for instance, if I'm, let's say, PIO, for example. PIO is coming out in a couple weeks. And we think we know it, and it's Pilates, yoga, and it's a new fun program from Chalene. So a lot of people are wondering, they're like, well, will it make me lose weight? Will it do this? Will it do that? And I'm really good at, and this is my belief, is I'm really good at separating the results from their intention. And the reason why I've had such good success, I believe, is that I want people to focus on enjoyment and then reassessment. So for instance, you've got fitness, you've got nutrition, you got your Shakeology part of nutrition, and then you got your challenge groups, and then all tied in is your personal development. And once a week, I check in with people and I want to know what's working, what's not. And what I tell them is that we don't focus on the scale, we don't focus on what they look like. I want to know, are they enjoying themselves? And I want to know that are they accomplishing what they want to accomplish? I've got some people that they are so dedicated to the challenge. They want to show up every day. Even if they don't do it 100%, they want to show up every day. Even if they hate the program, that'll actually motivate them even more. And obviously they show up every day and they actually get really good results. But you want to focus on something that they have complete control over. Your inner strength, you've got complete control over. And you have control over your thoughts. You have control over your emotions. So if something happens to you in your life, or somebody says something, somebody calls you, you get a bill in the mail and you're like, I don't know how to pay it. Well, that action, that's not the bad part. The part that needs to be improved is not the fact that the bill was sent. It's how do you react to it. It's your emotions. So, you got to use your emotions as a call to action. That's your inner strength. Are you upset because you didn't, you're disappointed and you broke your own rule of being able to pay the bill? Or you're disappointed about the fact that you guys have no money and you didn't plan well? Well, then what do? Well, then you sit and make a schedule. So you always want to be doing something when you feel a certain emotion, and that's what I teach people. So if they want to lose all this weight, and then let's say they want to bulk up and they're doing insanity and they're doing it for a couple of weeks, and then they're like, well, I don't feel like I'm gaining any weight. Now what I've got to do is I've got to reassess my initial conversation with them, because I really try and get them away from the fact that they just want to bulk up, because no matter what, it's still out of your control. You want to minimize things that are out of your control. you can have diet and higher protein, higher carbs, and honestly, I have other coaches on my team that they're really strong into that. They're really strong into macros and this and that, and people doing competitions. But that's not my thing. My thing is trying to make somebody a better person, whether they are doing a fitness program or not. I want someone to be able to emotionally control themselves in all situations. Mass disaster, in their family or whatever, and being able to channel your emotions outward takes extreme strength, and it is a habit that needs to be learned. And I know, because I'm proof that the product works, because I have transformed. I have an amazing ability now to be able to, I still have negative emotions and frustrations, yet I'm quicker and quicker at being able to channel it outwards and using that emotion as a call to action. So that's what writing a diary, as you kind of talk about your day's events. When something isn't working, you go back to the fundamentals and see, well, how can I start to make changes rather than getting frustrated? Because every emotion, there's a reason for it, and there's a call to action associated with it. And that's your inner strength. The stronger you are from the inside, then no matter what you do, you start realizing more things on the outside, and guess what? You're helping people every single day. You're helping people, every single person that you come in contact with, whether it's the person at the grocery aisle or whether it's just a random person on the street or somebody on Facebook, there's somebody that's always watching and somebody that's always listening, because it comes in the tone of your voice. You smile more. Your posture is different. You're just happier. And you know why? Because your eyes are all of a sudden wide open. And that's what I teach people. I teach people to live their life with their eyes wide open. And that's what Beachbody is. As long as I'm a Beachbody coach, I'm able to live my life with my eyes wide open and constantly being inspiring other people. And that's really the big picture. Because who knows? Maybe there'll be times in my life that I'm not doing a Beachbody program. Maybe I'm trying a different weird Mediterranean diet or whatever. Maybe I'm still going back to my green drinks that I used to take before Shakeology. I mean, who knows? But now that I've established a large coach base that I want them to coach my principles, well, I use the structure of Beachbody to help, multiply my thoughts. And that's what you guys should do. The reason why people should be Beachbody coaches, is, there's a way to draw people in, but the big picture of it is to help yourself. If it was just me, I do consider myself an extremely strong person with great inner strength. But who knows, if it's just me, what one tragic event could bring me all the way back down. Now that I got a whole team, just like you guys have or will have someday, people rely on you. And when it feels this good to inspire yourself, it feels that good to inspire other people. So always remember that. Focus on your inner strength. Have a good one, guys. Bye.